My Leisure Activity by Erica Karst. For my leisure activity, I chose to learn how to drive an ATV, or what I like to call a four-wheeler. An ATV, or all-terrain vehicle, is similar to a motorcycle or dirt bike, but it has four wheels and not as easy to fall off of. I decided to go with my dad and boyfriend to Pismo Beach and ride the sand dunes. I thought it would be a lot easier than dirt riding, but quickly found that sand riding could just be as hard. We fit 3 bikes on one small truck. You can even get stuck in the sand with your truck and have to get towed out. I thought this was funny and all part of the experience, but my dad was not too happy about that. Historically, women have not had a lot of opportunities to participate in riding dirt bikes or ATVs. I feel that the guys tend to just go with the guys and leave the women at home. When I went, I found that there were more women in families participating together with their younger children. There were many campers on the beach camping overnight. This allows more women to participate because they don't have to camp outside and can go inside whenever they feel like it. It took a lot of time to unload the 3 bikes and fill all of them with gas, and put flags on them so that other riders could see you out on the sand. But when that was all finished, it was time to learn how to ride. There are 3 gears on a bike: a forward, a neutral, and reverse. Here my dad is showing me how to turn on the four-wheeler. This bike is an automatic, meaning it does not have to be kick-started. It has a push button to start it, making it a lot easier for me to learn. This is different from dirt bikes because most dirt bikes have a clutch and you have to keep changing gears. On this bike, you used your right-hand thumb to control your speed while you were riding. And it had a front and a back brake. I had to make sure I was wearing protective gear at all times. This was hard because the only helmet we had was too big for me. I looked ridiculous, but my dad said suck it up and treated me as though I was one of the guys. I enjoyed riding by myself. I wasn't the only one out there learning to ride. Many younger kids were learning how to ride on the sand as well, making me not look as bad. My dad and brothers have their own dirt bikes and four-wheelers and have always gone without me. They said I wasn't one of the guys and I would either get dirty or hurt. I have always been jealous and wanted to learn to ride for a long time. This was a perfect excuse for it. When I first started riding, I would start out slow, and as soon as I felt a little better about riding, I wanted to go faster, or full throttle, as my boyfriend would say, and get to the top of the sand dunes before the rest of the group would get there. This made me feel like I had just won a big race or competition. My boyfriend taught me how to make donuts in the sand, and I thought that this was really fun. You just go in circles really fast, making the sand come up from behind you. This was a great way for me to just let loose and not care if I did it right or wrong. I saw many of the other ATVs doing the same thing and making cool designs in the sand. We brought 2 different size ATVs, a Yamaha 125 and a Yamaha 450. I started on the 125, but now it was time for me to try the 450. I have always been timid to ride dirt bikes because I am petite and the bikes are really big. It is very challenging to ride on the sand because when you're riding you would all of a sudden come across a big drop in the sand. You could either go down it or you could go around it. Some of the drop-offs were really high and very scary. When I went down my first drop, it was an adrenaline rush and I felt good when I finished it. This experience was very valuable to me. I got to hang out with the guys, I got to get dirty and wear old clothes and not care. I feel I learned an exciting new activity and hopefully I will get to go again. Most of the riding is follow the leader, and when I got to be the leader, my dad and boyfriend would have to follow me. Men always find a way for it to be a competition. There was tons of other ATVs out there at Pismo. You didn't always see them though, because there was so much riding you could do, almost 4 miles. I even saw a group of kids racing on the flat part, but they had wedge tires, letting them get a better grip on the sand. Not all the leisure activities I usually participate in don't have this much work involved. Loading of the bikes, unloading of the bikes. Might get stuck and have to get out. Filling of the gas, putting the flags on, make sure you have protective gear for safety. Cleaning of the bikes, make sure all the bikes work. But it sure paid off in the end, and I had a great time. When you're out there riding, no one makes fun of you because you are a woman or have to think that you suck because you're a woman. More and more females should participate in this activity. I can see why they don't, though. The weather was another big key factor. On the second day, I was freezing and just wanted to go inside. But my boyfriend wanted to stay outside and keep riding and show off his new motorcycle, a Kawasaki KX125. There was one rule, and you were not supposed to drive over a certain speed limit on the beach part. If you did, you'd get pulled over and get a ticket. Maybe I'll just leave the riding to the boys, and I'll just ride to the mall.